welcome to Owning Divorce. My name is Aaron Katz.
Hi, I'm Curtis Price.
All right, so let's get some stuff out of the way real quick. This is kind of our intro testing one. I think these will probably be, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour, maybe longer later on. We're going to try the just kind of us shooting the shit and see what comes out. And if people like it, great. If not, we're just having fun. I think that's kind of the goal here. We have a Instagram and Facebook group called Owning Divorce. Feel free to join both. On Facebook, it is a private group, so you have to request, and I will. Me and Curtis are both the administrators of it, so we can let you in. We just ask that you have the golden rule and don't be an asshole, because if you do, and we get to decide who's being an asshole or not, we boot you. I think that's fair, right? And then Curtis, you have other accounts?
Yeah, I created a TikTok for us, a Twitter, and I'll be getting the YouTube done for us as well.
Nice. And those are all under Owning Divorce. We will post this video up next day or so, probably. And then I think tomorrow night we're going to shoot for our first real video. So it's kind of a dry run. I don't know. I think we should kind of talk about why we decided to do this. January 15th, 2 years ago, is actually my free anniversary. Me and my ex split that day, at least according to our divorce documents. And my whole life, people talked about divorce being this horrible, horrible, hard thing. And it's just, they said, death and being let go and divorce are like the top three hardest things. And I kind of disagree with that. I got to say, it took a couple days because I've got anxiety, so my anti-anxiety meds kicked in, and a couple days later, I had the realization. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'm like, "Holy shit! I have control over my life for the first time ever." And all of a sudden, my eyes got really big, and I'm like, "Nope! I have control." And everyone kept on saying, well, first everyone was saying you need marriage counseling, to which my answer was no. I don't want to work things out. And everyone's like, it's going to hit you at some point. You're going to be sad. It's going to hit you, and it's going to be really depressing. And 2 years later, and I'm still happy as hell. And I figured I can't be the only one doing this. I figure other people must be loving, at a second lease on life, being divorced. And I looked around for groups. I figured just people that, can go grab a drink with. And all I found was depressing support groups that had rules up there saying you can't use this to pick people up. And I'm like, no, I want a group where we can bitch about, we can talk about how awesome divorce is. And, whether you're into men, women, whatever, you can pick people up, and it should just be fun, because your marriage, that was toxic. That didn't work. We can both kind of go in a little bit about how our marriages kind of crashed and burned, and we've got a little bit different experiences. But at the end, I'm 2 years later, you're about 9 months out, and we're both kind of kicking ass a little bit, I feel. And by the way, I talk way too much. So Curtis, feel free to tell me to shut the fuck up whenever, and I will let you talk. So kind of
I
tell me a
appreciate
little
it.
bit.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
I love the vision. I joined the club 9 months ago. About 9 months was March, just right before the lockdown happened. So I ended up getting locked into my house with my ex, and we couldn't go anywhere or do anything. So we had to kind of learn to live together for a few months at least.
Yeah.
It's actually my second time being divorced. I was divorced from my high school sweetheart, got remarried later on in life, kind of lived through my late 20s and my 30s with my last ex. And like Aaron, I feel like I got a new lease on life. I really am looking at how do I rebuild myself and focus on my needs and what I want out of life and what I want to do. I had a therapist recommend, find support groups, and like Aaron mentioned, they were sad groups. It wasn't like celebrating and enjoying life and taking control of it. So I love this idea. I think it'll resonate with a lot of people.
I hope so. I think there's a lot of us out there, and I want to make sure that people understand. I'm not ragging on marriage. I have several friends who are happily married, and good for them, and I'm excited. Friends from college, friends from high school that are with amazing partners. And I don't think for all people, divorce is this great second lease on life. There's people who really struggle with it. I don't remember if it's you, but I think your first divorce was a little harsher. Could have been someone else that I'm talking to. And your second one was like, holy crap, I'm free again. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, the first one was man, let's see, they both were sad. It was sad to like give up, right? Like
Yeah.
the in my mind, I was committed, I was in this relationship. Both sucked in that way. First one was like legally easier. We didn't own anything, we didn't have any kids, it was
Yeah.
simple. This one's been a lot more legal work to get done, a lot more to negotiate. So this one's been harder, and I'd say my most recent ex is less easy to deal with. Yeah, to her credit, she's been very fair, but it's still just a lot of work, and it's nothing that makes you feel good. So
So a little bit of background about both of us. So me and Curtis have been friends since we went to Burning Man in what, 2006,
sounds,
right?
yeah, 2006.
And afterwards, the whole group that we went with, and it was an interesting group that we went with, including guys who would get drunk and slap each other. That was interesting. Um, so we all went together, and I brought, my ex at the time, who I was married to, and you just started dating your ex, and we kind of hit it off. And me and you, our personalities are very similar. We're kind of easygoing and just kind of happy to be out there, and I don't know, I just think it's fun. And our exes, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna rag on my ex because that's what I do, but the show isn't about that. But both of our exes are kind of cold and calculating, for lack of a better word. Um, it's just this, I don't know, something's holding them back from being happy. And I hope, I'm indifferent about mine, but if she finds that, that's awesome. Of course, if she gets hit by a truck, I'll probably just have the same feeling too. I know you're a little bit different. I don't have a kid, so I don't have to deal with that. Um, so yeah, just a couple of things. I think referring to our exes by the X instead of their names, probably from on my end, I'm going to do that. Just kind of seems smart.
Yeah.
Um, so you're in a little bit different situation than I am in terms of dating. So I'm just going to say it on here, Curtis. When he first got divorced, he was talking about dating all these women, and he met this woman, and he can talk a little bit more of the intricacies of the relationship. But you guys have been together for what, 6 months now?
Yeah, we have. So my goal, and this is what I did the first time I was divorced too, is I tried to build a little stable,
Nice.
a group that I could see regularly and get to know kind of different women. Um, and there was in my first relationship, we had somewhat of an open relationship. We lived in a quad. It was four of us who lived together, two girls, two guys. We had done a little swinging. In my last marriage, put that all behind me, went very traditional. So just the two of us. And now that I was single again, I realized I was actually home talking to my therapist, and I was like, "Hey, this thing didn't work out for me in the past. I don't know if that's me." And he's like, "You got to try it out. Try out polyamory, see how that works for you." So this time, when I went back to building my stable, I was letting people know if they were asking, like, "Well, what are we?" I was telling them I was looking for polyamory. I met this amazing woman. Things have been going really good between us, and she had been in open relationships in the past, and so we've been pursuing that together. Um, and she's really given me the space to figure out, like, am I looking for polyamory? Am I looking for swinging? Like, what? There's a lot of shades of gray in that world, and that's where we're at. So
Nice.
I'm I think kind of leaning towards more of the kind of swinger, kind of group sex thing, orgies, fun stuff.
So I am kind of the exact opposite of this. So when I got divorced, so so Curtis kind of jumped almost immediately into it. I think a week or two after I spoke to you, and you're kind of just getting your bearings. You're like, "Hey man, can you send me your dating profile?" And my response was, "Yeah, but you're not ready yet." I waited uh, almost 6 months, and it was going to be even longer, but I had two interesting, and I'll go into this at a later point, encounters with women. And a friend of mine said, at least if you go on dating profiles, there might be some sort of paper trail in case you wake up missing a kidney. So that's why I started dating. Originally, I was going to wait till probably the end of August after my birthday. I just wanted a lot of time to focus on myself. And I wanted to be in a place where, I'm kind of down for the boring relationship, just one person that you're with. And You know, it didn't work out with my ex, but there's a ton of amazing women that I've dated, and at some point it will click, or maybe it won't. I don't know. But well, you've kind of had one woman, and there's been other experiences. I've had a variety of women. Some of them absolutely amazing. Some of them a little crazy. Some of them with one of them with a drinking problem. So that was fun. But I'm going to refer to them because there's going to be a fair amount either by a number or by a nickname that I gave them. Um, I think our first show should kind of be about like the divorce and kind of rediscovering things. And I know that's going to be very different for me and you. Um, and then I think the second one, or maybe the third one, should be about sex, kind of rediscovering that. And I'm putting that different from dating because for me it was sex first, then it was dating. Um, Sex makes sense to me. It's not, is it linear? Whatever. Yeah, it's binary. That's the word. It's either one or the other. Either you have sex or you don't have sex. Relationships, I kind of struggle with them. I think my longest one I'm averaging is about 2 months. I meet a woman, fall madly in love with her. Not in love with her, but I really like her. And I always say, hey, Curtis, I met this woman. She's amazing. The sex is great. She understands me. Everything's amazing. And 2 months later, I'm like, well, that didn't work out. Sometimes they break it up with me. Sometimes I break it up with them. I'd say most of the time women end up breaking it up with me, and I'm okay with that because usually 3 weeks later, I'm like, hey, Curtis, I met this woman and she's amazing and the sex is great. And this is the one for me. And this has been my pattern for the past year and a half.
Gotta keep
I
those
think
profiles active.
Right, yeah, seriously. But I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm really just looking for one woman, a relationship. I don't know if I'll get married again, but I think I'd like a stable girlfriend. You know, I just think at this point, I'm very specific on what I want. I don't know if it's out there. My shrink gave me some weird advice. She says it's a numbers game. And I'm like, this is interesting for a female in her mid to late 50s telling me that there's nothing wrong with having sex with women on first dates. And you don't have to take it slow. And it'll eventually, you know, if it's a numbers game. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. That's kind of cool. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit about ground rules, at least from my end. You know, if you have anything you want to add in, let me know, you know, feel free.
Yeah. I think there was something I wanted to say, but I have lost track of it. Oh, hopping back into dating.
Yes.
Um, you know, it's not like you get divorced and you guys are having an amazing sex and then you get divorced, right? It's like
Oh,
there's this big dry spell. So I had to hop back in. I was just too horny. I was like, I need to I need to get back there. I
no,
can't.
that's something we're gonna talk about because I mean we both like I didn't think I liked sex. I just didn't think I was a sexual person
Oh,
for most of my life. I'm just like maybe certain people just aren't built for having sex, and maybe I wasn't. Maybe I thought I was bad in it. I don't know. The women that I've dated since then, I mean, they could all be faking, but that would be a lot of consistent faking and kind of conspiratorial at that point. Um, so yeah, no, it's weird. I think we're gonna have a pretty interesting conversation about our first sexual experiences post our exes. You know, kind of like just like reawakening, being like, holy crap, this is amazing. What have I been doing the rest of my life? Um, you know, oh god damn, yeah. I think this is gonna be, yeah, it's the second woman that I slept with. Was just like there was this moment of like, oh my god, my eyes got really big when all of a sudden. The first woman, and I'll go more detail later on, I was really drunk, and so was she, and it was a random, and I fell asleep going down on her. That was the highlight of that. That was
did she like kick
by
you off?
far. What?
Did she like
I
kick
don't
you
know.
off?
Yeah, seriously. I don't know how long. I could have been asleep there for like 30 seconds. It could have been an hour. I don't know, but I fell asleep while I was down there. And I'm like, oh, this is really gonna suck. And I'm like, maybe, you know, just not me. But then yeah, afterwards, the second one was like, damn. Yeah, so I think that's kind of cool for like a first one, just kind of
Yeah,
shooting the shit.
yeah, I think it's a
I
good
think
run.
yeah, I think tomorrow night we should talk a little bit about the divorce. So like, I don't know, I got a couple notes of things about that. Like not what, well, maybe a little bit about what led to the divorce, but kind of the realization. of, damn, I'm free. Like, this is absolutely amazing. And I mean, the struggle with divorce, yours is a lot more difficult than mine because of the kid, and you guys have more assets together than me and my ex. But I really want to talk about the positives of this because generally the divorce has been, for me, has been an amazingly positive experience. I read my ex so well during the divorce. Everyone said, you're going to go to court and you're going to lose. And I'm like, nope, she's going to buckle. And she did. And I got an amazing settlement that even the mediator's jaw dropped when she agreed to everything because, you're with someone. I was with her for 20 years. I knew her pretty well. So we'll talk a little bit about that, I think, tomorrow night.
Sounds good, man.
All right, cool.